In this video, I'm going to talk about writing on Capiz shells and share all my secrets. I have done thousands and thousands of these over the years, and I'm actually retiring this offer just because I don't do calligraphy as much anymore. So I wanted to share all my wisdom before I forget it. So first, just keep in mind that these are natural shells. I'm going to link my favorite Etsy shops to buy them in the description. They are natural, so there's not necessarily an unlimited quantity of them. So I was always a little stingy with my providers, but now I'm retiring this. So I'm going to share all of that information. And the main thing, a lot of people think these are really fragile and that you have to package them super duper well. The thing is, the shells are not, are hard to break. I probably could break it if I wanted to, but they are layered extremely, like a ton of times. So for instance, on this edge here, I can probably break it because it's a little thinner. And you can see how it breaks kind of oddly because there's just so many tiny little layers in there. So think of it as like a baklava or something. Lots of teeny tiny layers. So because of that, every once in a while you'll get these ink bleeds when you try to write on them because you're kind of touching up under one of those tiny layers, even if you can't really see it. You'll start to know the more you're writing on it if you are about to hit one of those layers, because there's a couple different textures that are most common with these babies. So you can see here, this one has a lot of like kind of bumps and ridges, and that's going to lead to more ink bleeds, and it's a little harder to write on as opposed to this texture here that is just smoother. And some of them are one texture on the front and one texture on the back. Here, let me put these together for you. So this is that like bumpier, rougher texture, and this one's smoother. And when you order them, you can't just order the smooth ones. So you kind of have to make sure you order enough to handle it. And some of these are really easy to write on. It just kind of depends. So what I like to do is when I'm writing, I just write them. And if it doesn't work, I just toss this one to the side. The good thing about Capiz shells is you can clean them off. So here's a stack of mess ups that I had from the order I was just finishing. And I'll be able to just use like Dawn dish soap or Windex to clean them off. You can clean them off in the moment with a paper towel, but I just don't like to interrupt the flow. Okay, what am I using? I have tested paint pens on these, and like the Pen Touch paint pens work okay, but I'm doing calligraphy with a nib, so I prefer gouache. Gouache works really well. Sumi ink also works fine on this, but you can mix different colors of gouache to work pretty well. And then the Dr. Martin's Bleed Proof White works fairly well too. This is going to give you less contrast. I'm going to show you what this looks like. So I always recommend it if it's going to go on like a colored napkin or a colored piece of paper, a colored menu, something like that, because it is harder to read if you don't have that colored background. So let's see. I was going to do Maya, but I'll just do Mia because it's shorter. So you can see that, but if you put it behind something colorful, you can see it's a lot more visible and the contrast looks better versus obviously the black is going to be more legible. So I always encourage people to use black. White is great and works really well too. And then if they need a color, you can do gouache. I typically don't offer gouache because I just don't want to get into the intricacies of specific color matching. But I like to make my gouache a little thicker for these just because they do have the tendency to bleed a little. So I'll mix my gouache just a little bit thicker and make sure to get it off, like, dab it off pretty well. And you'll see a lot of different things come up as we start writing on these. So sometimes the ink is just bleeding into the surface a little more and you'll have to go over it a second time. This is not one I would send because of this, of course, but sometimes you just have to go over things a second time, and that's okay. You'll want to do it before the ink is dry because if you try to double layer, then you'll probably scratch off much of the ink. In most cases, this ink is not actually absorbing into the shell, but sitting on the surface of it. And that is both a good and a bad thing. It's bad because it's more likely that the ink can scratch off. So when I am packaging these, I'm not necessarily packaging them for the protection of the shell, but I'm packaging them such that the ink can't scratch off. So I want to package paper or foam in between each individual shell. And again, it's not because the shells are going to break. I've never had a shell break, knock on wood, in packaging, and I've done like 10,000 plus of these. But sometimes the ink can scratch off. So, for instance, this is a blob, and if we want it to be a little less blobby, we actually can use an X-Acto knife to reshape part of a letter. So if you ever have an ink drip or a little bit of a bleed, you can sometimes scratch it off, which is really nice. This one's kind of down in a groove of the shell, so I don't think it's going to work, but I just want to show you an example. Like, for instance, this L is a little blobby up here, so we could use this to just reshape that a little. It's a nicer, slightly nicer shape there on that L. So if you have something where you kind of have a blob, that happens, but you can use an X-Acto knife to reshape it, which is a good thing. Also, because these are natural, they're going to be quite bumpy. This is me in real time, so it's a little slower than my typical calligraphy, but might be faster than some people. Just depends. But I would recommend going just a tad slower and lighter, because we do have the tendency, the ink has a tendency to pool, and you'll also do better on those bumps if you have a lighter hand. So as an example, see how that D got very blobby where I tried to replace it? That's okay, because I'm going to go back with an X-Acto knife and just reshape that. But I wanted the line to be full and have no gaps. But I can go in and reshape that. And I think this tail is a little long for me on the D, so I might go in with an X-Acto knife and reshape that too. And these things dry super fast, so you don't really have to wait too long for them to dry. They'll be dry in, an hour is plenty. Let's see. It's hard to think of names when you're just off the cuff here. Some of them don't take ink super well, and you might need to wash them off. I don't typically wash most of mine, but I do find that just wiping clean, if you are having an issue like this, with a paper towel is generally enough to get off whatever is on here. Most of them don't need it, so I don't usually do it first. But this one kind of has like a chalky texture on it, which is why these appeared a little blobby. I can feel it with my nib, and you'll be able to feel it as well. Some of that is just the natural shell, and you'll be able to wipe it off. But one thing is that it's going to gunk up your nib. So you do want to have a paper towel just to be able to clean up your nib. Your nib will get gunked up while you're working on these a lot faster than it will when you're working on paper, just because there's some natural texture to these. Some of them are going to come with some chips. This is kind of an uneven circle, and you'll have to just decide. This one has a little bit of a chip there. You'll just have to decide. Typically, I put them to the side if they're completely terrible. Okay, I have a bag called Ugly. So some of them come very, very chipped. I would never want to send this to a client. Some of them are like this, and they just have a lot of those layers. This is one I'm probably not going to send to a client either. This one is just misshapen completely. Sometimes they're a little misshapen, and that's not a huge deal. Sometimes I will send not necessarily the ugly ones, but the rough textured ones to my client. For instance, this one was kind of hard to write on, but if my client orders like 3 extras, sometimes I might send them with this, because they're not using a nib to write on it anyway. They're probably not even using this. But if they did use like a Sharpie paint pen or something, it would work okay because the texture is all right with something like that. So I typically will send something like this as an extra. Obviously take the messed up calligraphy off of it and make sure it's blank. But then something that is this bad, I'm not going to send as an extra. Here's one that I tested a bunch of different metallics on. So this is a pen touch paint pen and it works pretty well, but that's like faux calligraphy. So you do have to go back and, fill in the downstrokes if you want. And this is Dr. Martin's bleed proof, I think bronze. And some golds over here too. And these look fine. They work really well on the shells. But because of the contrast and the shimmer, they're just really hard to read. So I don't recommend doing those gold colors without warning your clients. Like this Miranda in the middle, you can probably barely read it. Technically, it was working fine. It's gold ink. It looks good in person. But if you get it in exactly the wrong light, it kind of completely disappears. And then most of these shells do have a very clear bottom and a very clear front because they have this, you can see that's sticking up. They have this portion here. I'm sure there's a biological name for it, but that usually determines what is the bottom of the shell. So you want to kind of center that way. And you also will use this as the top of the shell. So you're not going to write on this side because it will feel like you did something wrong. This just naturally feels like the bottom and the top side of the shell. So there is kind of a right way to do that. And sometimes those pieces are not sticking up, but it's obvious where they were. So that's always what I'm orienting to. So overall, these are not very hard to write on and they're not nearly as breakable as you think they are. Oh, okay. I was able to break this one, but it took some force. And there are some that are so thick. This one is so thick. I'm not going to because why? But some of them are so thick, I probably wouldn't even be able to break it. You just have to understand that there's going to be some natural differences in the textures and the look. Like this has this circle here that's fairly common and all these little inclusions that you can see. And then some of them have these natural striations. So you just kind of have to let your client know that that can happen. And in shipping, I would say you could be in danger of the edges chipping a little. I'm going to put bubble wrap around them, so they probably won't. But you're really not in danger of them breaking. I mean, now that I say that, someone's going to be like, mine broke. But I've shipped many thousands of these and none of them actually broken. A couple have chipped and I've just redone them. Or at one point, a client was kind of wishing that one of the more perfect ones was for like bride and groom. So we redid a couple of them for her and her family that were on the more perfect ones. It's not to say that these other ones are bad. It's just that as a keepsake, this one is a little nicer. So if you have the ability to do that for people you know are really important in the wedding that they're going to have as keepsakes more often, then I do try and reserve these like nice ones for that. And then if I do have one that I think is going to be a little tricky to write on, this is a good tip. I'm saving this for like Ken, Mia, Jan, Pat. I'm not saving this for like Elizabeth, Marguerite, etc. So the ones that I know are going to be easier to write on are the ones that I am writing the longer names on usually. Okay, let me know if you have any questions about how to write on these shells. This was oddly satisfying after trying to not break many thousands of them. It was kind of fun to break one, but I'm so excited. These have been a bestseller in my Etsy shop for a while. And while I am excited to retire them because they're just not fitting into my current product offering, I'm really excited to share my knowledge. And I think they're so fun and beautiful and provide a ton of opportunities for, adding cool artwork, painting the edges, dip painting them. I've seen adding cool meal choice options, and just incorporating them into a cool beachy, islandy wedding or event. So let me know what questions you have while you're here. Check out some of our other videos all about calligraphy and stationery design. And I'm going to link my favorite places to order these in the description. So check those out. Thanks, everybody.